In 3, 2, 1.
We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Because today on GMP, we're celebrating the original and the only Independence Day.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Guilty Movie Pleasures.
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to a celebration of America with Independence Day. A movie that just shows we have a can-do spirit. And you may have noticed in the intro, I said the only Independence Day. The reason I say that is because, and we'll do this for about 2 minutes, then I want to move on, and no spoilers in case people haven't seen it. In my opinion, and I'm very lenient on movies, very lenient, Independence Day Resurgence was an abomination for this franchise and was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life that should have been good. And oh yeah, Zach's here today. You want to say hi? Sorry,
Hey guys.
Zach's here filling in for Cameron, who's too cool for us again.
Once again, I am the other camshaft.
You are the other Cam. You need to get that Twitter handle. Wow. So we got let's do 90 seconds on this. You saw Independence Day in Resurgence, whatever the fuck it's called. I shouldn't swear a lot because this is a kids-ish movie. Who cares?
No.
Who cares?
Look, I saw it. I didn't hate it. Here's the thing.
Okay.
It is not a good movie.
Okay.
I don't think anyone involved is gonna argue that it's like a good movie.
Yeah.
But bottom line, I had a good time. When I stopped and I thought about wait, did I care about any characters in there? No.
Did I laugh at any of the jokes? No.
Maybe a few.
Did the entire storyline of Jules, Jeff Goldblum's dad, saving kids on a bus mean anything or need to be in there?
No. But I think part of why I left with a positive feeling, that I enjoyed myself, is that without giving any spoilers, what they so clearly set up for the third movie,
I agree,
is so unbelievably amazing, and I need to see that movie. I don't even care how bad this one was.
Here's the thing.
That third one needs to happen.
Here's the thing. It's gonna be unbelievably amazing if they go back and do it like the first movie and not this train wreck of a second film. Where the reason this is the reason, and please tweet at me after the show or comment on this YouTube link. Let me know if any of you, if somehow someone out there thinks the second one is better than the first one.
No.
First off,
no.
them's fighting words.
No.
Secondly, if you even say it's tied, I'll still be blown away. The only thing I will give it is the action scenes were cool and looked really amazing in IMAX. The problem was I didn't care about anything, so the action scenes had no dramatic weight. In this movie, I remember seeing this in 1996 when I was 14 years old and crying in the movie theater when the first lady dies and the daughter comes out and goes, "Is mommy sleeping?" And he goes, "Yeah, mommy's sleeping." Because Bill Pullman is so good. And you're like, oh, there's real dramatic weight in the first one in all the cheesy campiness. And this one, it's like, I don't kill them all. But human beings, if that's what we become, is boring Liam Hemsworth and fake Will Smith's son, it's like, I don't care about any of these.
That's all that was left. I'm still mad in solidarity with Mae Whitman.
Yeah. That was total bull. And I love that. I love Maika Monroe, who's from I think that's how you pronounce her name, from It Follows. But it's bullshit that they replaced Mae Whitman when she's still a working actress and fantastic.
And she's gorgeous. She's not a model.
Yeah. Clearly,
whatever.
It was them going, we need someone blonde and hot in this movie that's going to blow things up. That's my Roland Emmerich.
If you guys want a full spoiler-filled review, earlier today, me and my co-host Jesse Klein talked about it at length, and all the sci-fi, the sci-fi is really what I latched onto in that movie, because I actually they did a good job with that on Sci-Fi Weekly, which is Popcorn Talk's new Sci-Fi Weekly discussion show.
Yeah, it's the last thing I will say that this movie does so well with, and the second one didn't do, is the humor in this one. Even some of the super cheesy stuff like Harvey Fierstein, I think is his name. Oh, David, I gotta call my mother. I gotta call my lawyer.
That's really good.
Oh crap! When the car hits him, like even those jokes, still the worst joke in this movie is funnier than the funniest joke in the new one because.
Oh yeah.
And here's why: all these characters in this movie are idiosyncratic, but in different ways. Like Jules Levinson he's a schlemiel. He's just very like this guy, you know. And Jeff Goldblum is quirky and funny, and then Will Smith is kind of a little bit more sarcastic and badass. In the new one, it's like they chocked it full of nerdy white guys, and that's coming from a nerdy white guy myself.
And one African warlord. We're way past 90 seconds, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. Then I'm done. After this, I'm done. The two leads are boring. There's a nerdy white guy in space. There's a nerdy white guy on Earth. There's a nerdy white guy with Brett Spiner, who's already a nerdy white guy. They have way too much screen time. It's the same archetype repeated over and over. They're like, "Hi, you didn't laugh at this one. Maybe you'll laugh at this one." No. Anyways, moving on. The action scenes are cool. The characters they just defecate all over the original cast and make them all look bad. And to make Bill Pullman look bad in this role really hurts me because I love him so much in this.
Yeah.
To me, he's the perfect president in this movie. He's an ex-fighter pilot. He's a badass, but he's also diplomatic. So he plays like he's not like...
Plus, he's married to a space president.
Yeah, he's married to a space president. So let's get into this. Independence Day, ID4, 1996. To me, as a kid, this was like... As a kid, I was 14, but still more of a kid than I am now, 20 years later. This was like my... Even though Star Wars was obviously still my Star Wars, this was like the 90s version of Star Wars, where it was like...
Oh, wow.
For me, I'd never seen a movie in theaters that blew my mind like this. When the White House blew up, I remember me and all my friends were like, "Oh, shit!" And it still looks good. The only stuff that ages a little silly is when there's people running and there's explosions happening behind them.
Yeah, and you can see that it's clearly, separated green screen. But
the practical effects look really good in this movie.
That's why practical effects, people, it holds up no matter how old the movie
Episode 7
gets.
did it. Why can't other movies? You know? I mean, they did a mix, but...
Yeah, I mean, like, look, there's a certain point at which, like, you have to move into CGI. But, like, using the simple approach to this, like, the spaceships just move. You didn't need anything crazy. Yeah. Even the monsters, like, the aliens were practical.
So good.
I definitely had... I don't remember seeing it the first time, but I definitely had one of the alien, like, toys.
Oh, yeah, I did, too.
That,
and it had these prongs on the back that open up and had the little guy inside. This movie blew my mind, and I remember we saw... This is how stupid I was as a kid. We saw it on July 2nd. I still have my movie ticket stub, 1996. And I remember my friends and I leaving the theater like, "Guys, it's July 2nd. What if this happens tonight, bro?" I mean, we'd never use the word bro, but it's like, what if this happens tonight? What if aliens show up and then we gotta fight? The structure of this movie's so good, where it's like, July 2nd, set it up. Oh man, these aliens are here. Are they here for good or bad? July 3rd, they're here for bad. Definitely here for bad. July 4th, yeah, Independence Day! It's just like, it's the perfect 3-act structure for an action sci-fi movie, a blockbuster. And it's fun. It's so fun.
Every step of it is just like, it's fun just like on the ground, and you have all the different perspectives. You're in the White House with the government, you're on this ground level with the pilot and his family, and then like you're with David, who's like the really smart but civilian level, like all those things, just like
and it's 2.5 hours, but it does not feel that way.
No, when I went back to watch it, I like at one point I was like, what, 2.5?
Oh, yeah. And the new one's a half hour shorter, feels way longer. But I don't want to keep getting into that because I want to celebrate this one, the only Independence Day movie that matters. So, all right, we're gonna get the plot in under 3 minutes. Are we ready with that, Steve in the booth, or not? If not, we can stall a little bit.
Let's
stall.
Yeah.
Let's stall for a minute.
No, look. I mean, this movie.
What did you think? Did you see it in theaters? Or how old are you? Were you like 2?
I was.
Were you born in 93?
I would have been 9 when this came out.
Okay, you're not.
Or 8. Because it would have been 8 when this came out. I do remember. I don't remember if I saw it in theaters. I want to say I did, but I have no memory of that experience.
Every single person I knew had this on VHS with the lenticular cover that like had the White House and then had it blow up, and I remember just staring at it all the time, like, whoa, it's blown up, What did you think when you saw it, when you first saw it?
I mean, I was as a kid, and as if I'm not today, I was obsessed with aliens.
Oh, yeah.
So this just, again, it just like, it was like, I want the toys. I want this is the coolest thing. Yeah, punch him in the face.
They needed more toys. They didn't do a ton of toys for this, if I remember it.
There's
But then
only
again,
so much you can do. What do you? I mean,
did
like
they have a Will
today,
Smith
I
toy?
would. But I'm sure they did. Today, I would be first in line for a Jeff Goldblum action figure.
yeah.
Back in the day, I don't think they
Yeah,
thought
that's a good
anyone
point.
was gonna buy his pasty
point.
white figure.
Oh wait, we're ready for 3 minutes on the clock. So we're gonna go over the plot in 3 minutes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Zach.
We opened up on the most 90s credit sequence ever with those graphics. And then we see the moon and the moon landing. And then they ruin our historic moon landing site because they vibrate the moon too hard. Then we said we're at SETI, and all of a sudden, and they're just like sending signals back and forth. Wake him up, plug it in. Oh my God, call the president.
Oh, that's where you're stopping. All right, so we call the president. We're like, what is this signal? It's coming in. We find out that there's this mass, and it's moving towards us. And they're like, maybe it's a meteor. And he's like, it's slowing down. He goes, what? It's slowing down, sir. And then we get introduced to all our other characters. We get introduced to Jeff Goldblum. He's working at a cable station, and there's issues with the satellite going on. And Avi Fierstein is like, oh my God, what do we gotta do? Listen, Mom. And some guy's like, I know, we hope you can watch X-Files. I like it too. And then we get introduced to Will Smith, and then the ships start coming, and they go over all the cities, and that's when Will Smith takes forever to notice it.
They don't even care because it's Earth. It's not even a 4. Oh, baby, go back to bed.
Vivica A. Fox looking Foxy. And her son, Will Smith's illegitimate son in the movie. And then we get also introduced to...
Not illegitimate, he's adopted. But then they go outside.
Not adopted, because it's her kid.
Yeah,
but
either way, he will be adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Then so
We
Will
spent
Smith
40
gets
seconds on
called
it.
into the military because there's an alien invasion going on.
And they send up the helicopter first with the flashlight. We're gonna try to do flashlight correspondence. It's opening up. Oh, first there's the weather vehicle that tries to get through, gets hit by the cloud and blows up.
Yeah, because at first it's just clouds and it's just like you don't even know what the ship is. But then they're like, oh shit, we're at war now, so we gotta send.
Speed this up.
Okay. So then David decides he needs to go down to DC because he knows it's a countdown.
Figures out that it's a countdown.
He gets his dad's car and his dad won't go over 60.
So good.
And so they get down there. He creepily triangulates his ex-wife's signal to find exactly the point on Earth that she is standing. And then he apparently punched the president in the face.
Yep, and then they all escape right as the port it's opening up. They blow up the Empire State Building, the Sears Tower. They blow up all of downtown Los Angeles. They blow up the Statue of Liberty, the White House. Everything gets destroyed, and other countries too that we just don't see. But we're focused on America in this one.
But America decides we got to send all of our fighter jets for a big aerial battle where they
that does
send out
not go
even
so well.
more alien ships.
There's shields. 30 seconds. Oh, there's shields on everything. And then we were like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And then they decimate us, and it's like, everything's so bad. The first lady dies. Everything's terrible. This is all so sad.
We found Area 51. By the way, it's real.
It's real.
And then David comes out. It's a cold from his dad, and he's got to send. We infect him with a virus. So Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum go to this spaceship.
They go up to this. They give the virus. They put a nuke in. They fly out. They're able to shoot down all the ships because the shields are down. We win the day. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. Yeah.
No, but that's after the speech. That's when they fly up.
I know.
The pilot flies to the screen.
Good. Yeah. We completely negated. We didn't even bring up Randy Quaid, and he's one of my favorite characters in it. Russell, whatever his last name is.
I got him in under the gun, but we did not finish.
Hey boys, I'm back. Yeah, Randy Quaid plays the guy who thinks he was kidnapped by aliens, and he has a stepson who looks like Keanu Reeves' worst, Keanu Reeves' son. If Keanu Reeves' son could act less good than Keanu Reeves.
Wait,
because I actually love Keanu Reeves, but this dude in the movie's like, Russell, his field's on the other side of town.
He is sort of like Hispanic Keanu.
He's Hispanic, worser acting Keanu Reeves. I can't figure out how to grammatically correctly say it.
I thought they were all his kids.
Just the youngest boy is his son. The other two are, but they don't clear that up unless you watch the extended cut.
I didn't even know until today that there was an extended cut.
It's 9 minutes longer, and most of that 9 minutes is them looking for medicine for his youngest son, who's just like, I'm sick, Dad, and then it never goes anywhere.
Oh, the vomit thing?
Yeah, then they just give him medicine, and then they drop that. And then they add in some more funny banter between Jules and David. They run off the road and he's like crashing into the side and stuff. It's pretty awesome. I'll take anything with Jules and David, which is a big problem with the second one. They never have Jules and David together, and the father-son banter is my favorite. In fact, I want to just jump ahead to the father-son banter. I forget what I have Dad and David banter, I think, or something like that. I can't read it from here. Can you zoom that in for me when you get a chance? Dad and David, oh God, as I just see the mouse.
Look at these people, look. Huh? Falsers. They take and then they go.
They take and then they go.
They're going faster than we are. Look at this. We're in the fast lane.
I can't go faster. They're cutting me off here.
No one's cutting you off. We're going to get a ticket.
They're getting in front of me. I can't go any faster.
All right. I don't want to argue. Shh. Let's just get there as quickly as possible.
What's the rush, huh? You think we'll get to Washington and won't be there?
And then David gives him a look like...
Dun, dun, dun.
So good. Their banter is so funny and so real. In the first scene where they're playing chess, and he's like, "What? You're still wearing your wedding band? What's going on?" It's been 3 years.
It's not healthy.
He's so good in this movie, and their relationship is so clear. And the moment when David, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but the moment when David's drunk later on because they're gonna nuke the. We forgot that in the plot outline of it is that. They finally decide after the president's wife dies, they're like, we got to nuke the bastards. That's the only way to do this. They nuke it. It doesn't do anything except destroy Houston. But who really cares about Houston anyways? I'm kidding. I have an uncle in Houston. I do care about Houston. But yeah, then David just like, because he's a big environmentalist. He's recycling and he's
they set that up at the beginning. Like
we have that sound clip. We have that sound clip. Let's play David the Recycler. It's, what is it called? It's so good. David My God in Heaven. That's what it is.
Yeah,
What are you doing? There's a reason we have bins labeled recycle. What the hell is going on? My God in Heaven.
Sue me, David.
Fulfill me, David.
like
My God in Heaven.
he's like. I guess because the 90s were when we first started recycling, so people were a lot more gung-ho about it. Now it's like, yeah, you get your 3 trash bins that the city gives you. You put blue as something.
But in the 90s, it was a big deal. I remember going over to a friend's house and being like, you guys don't recycle? They're like, who cares? Who cares?
God, man, it's not cool to care about the environment.
And I'm like, we should probably, it's really easy. You just get two different trash cans. It's not that difficult. My God in Heaven. I love Jeff Goldblum.
What, am I going to have 2 sinks to have trash cans under? What do you think this is?
I can only throw away things under sinks. So we have... the first thing, that was the first clip we had, where David is probably my favorite character in this movie, because Jeff Goldblum, he's like a nerdier version of his character in Jurassic Park. Because his character...
Oh, yeah.
His character in Jurassic Park is a little cool, like when he's like
like a ladies' man.
Yeah, when he's like putting the drop of water on what's her face.
Oh yeah, he's a total player.
Oh yeah, look at this thing. And he's just so funny in this movie. It's one of my favorite Jeff Goldblum performances ever. And then we get introduced. So we've met the president. We've met that his approval ratings are going down. And hey, perfect way to get your approval ratings up: defeat some aliens.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he got reelected. I'll bet he's the first president that got 3 terms after this. Because I mean, you'd have to reelect this guy. But then we get introduced to Randy Quaid. And
wouldn't be the first.
Everybody.
History.
Oh yeah, I mean, the first since they made change the laws. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you were.
And Randy Quaid is so fun in this movie because he's a drunk who was abducted by aliens.
It's so silly.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you first meet him and he like drunkenly stumbles out of the plane.
Drunkenly crop
they
dusting.
like have like a musical cue. I mean, he's like.
It feels very much like a Disney movie. It's like drunk crop dusting. It's very magical. Yeah. Instead of what would really happen is oh shit.
Yeah, they didn't go over the fact in this movie that drunk flying not a good idea.
They made it look real fun.
I'm pretty sure he flew that last mission drunk.
I think so, because he definitely says, like, picked a bad day to stop drinking later on, and I'm like, you were drinking about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he was drunk, and then they, like, kept feeding him coffee, and then he was in the air.
To his son, he's like, keep coming, keep it coming. And that weird, like, biker hillbilly guy next to him's like, he survives. Did you notice that?
No.
There's the guy that has a long hair. He looks like Goofy from Disney if, like, Goofy was a human being with biker hair. If Goofy and Rob Zombie mated. This is what this guy would be. And he survives, and he shows up in the end of the movie, like, next to the president with his arm around him, like, yeah, we did it! Because you didn't see me in the dogfight. I was just hanging back watching all you guys. But, good job, everybody. Good job.
I did really like the scene where he's getting the coffee. There's this little touch that I noticed this time where his son, when he brings up, he's like really excited. Like, he's like, keep him coming. You got it, man. Like, he's like,
you got
I'm
it.
super proud of you, Dad.
Yeah, you're not
Dad. I'm super proud of
not
you.
stepdad. So then there's I wrote there's 700 characters in this movie because they cut to submarines, there's science nerds, there's TV nerds, there's politicians, there's generals, there's civilians. There's the one general who I forget his name, but he's a pretty famous actor who's grumpy the entire movie.
Yeah.
Even in the end when they're like winning, he's like, all right, well you got your first hit in. He's like, yeah, direct contact, good job. And then at the end, the most emotion he gets is he goes, yeah, all right. But the rest of the time, he's just like the angriest general on the planet. But I remember when the first plane blows up, that was nuts when I saw that in theaters. Because it's like that weather ship or whatever, that like surveillance military plane. And they're like, we don't see anything. Oh, wait, something's opening up. We see something. Oh my God.
I mean, well, the
So
way
good.
the fire like cuts through and
That's
everyone's
so good. It was a
They die.
typically
They're dead.
90s way to do things.
Yeah.
Whenever things blew up, it was always like the burst of fire would come towards the camera. And
Yeah, it works.
I think it works
It's cool.
great.
It's scary.
It works great.
Because like what this movie does well is it has all those moments where like where the buildings are blowing up or where you could like see yourself standing there and just being like, yeah, I'd probably run and I'd be screwed.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about the guy who's like still filing papers and he gets blown up? There's when the big attack happens, there's some dude in an office like going through binders or like filing cabinets, and he turns and he's like, oh, and then he gets thrown back. I'm like, what were you doing? Like,
Who was that guy?
The government is going to collect still 5 years of taxes. I got to make sure I have all my documents. Like, what was he doing in there?
I mean, maybe filing was what brought him peace. And
that's
he's
what
just
brought
like,
him zen.
I'm gonna die. I
yeah.
might as well die organized.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then David we might as well skip ahead because there's so much craziness in this movie and we only have so little time. But I was going to say you could play a drinking game just for when the ships arrive for how many fender benders happen. That was a big thing in like every Roland Emmerich movie ever, is when something's happening above, somebody always slams on the brake and then gets out of their car and then everybody behind them hits them. It's like a huge but my favorite thing is he ups it where the cop gets hit, 3 taxis behind him, another car,
Station wagon,
and then the cop moves forward and the armored truck slams in and T-bones it. And you're like, whoa!
And the cop's just like, whoa, whatever. I do love that. I think, and then on the news report, they're like 10,000 accidents today.
So something like 7,000 fender benders in under 30 minutes. But
who is reporting those numbers?
Exactly.
What person is like, you know what I'm calling into the news station? Fender benders.
Yeah, who's worried? All right, are you reporting a fender bender or an alien spaceship above our city? Because that's the only 2 calls we're getting right now. Nobody gives a shit about anything else. But so they set up that David is working at a cable station and he's figuring out the binary code, and he doesn't even pay attention to what's going on. And then Will Smith thinks it's an earthquake, and it's amazing when he goes out there, he picks up the paper, and he's just like, huh? And then he just turns and sees the ship over downtown Los Angeles, and Vivica A. Fox comes running out, and it's like, babe, and then they turn and both are like, oh shit.
Also, it seems like they live like way up in the hills because it looks like they're on eye level with the ship.
I don't know where, maybe Griffith Park area? I don't know where they live.
Yeah.
They live super high up. They live somewhere fictional that doesn't exist in Los Angeles.
The only place I can think is like the Glendale like hills, like way up there. But like I don't think they're living up there on a an Air Force pilot and stripper salary.
Which every time Harry Connick Jr. goes, you know you're never going to get into NASA if you got a stripper for a wife. And then they cut to her awkwardly pole dancing in front of no one. I'm just like, why did she have to be a stripper in this movie? And why did Harry...
Why wouldn't she be a stripper?
I mean, she looks good.
It's basically what I imagine Roland Emmerich said in the meeting.
So his wife is going to be a stripper. We're going to have... But it's PG-13. Yes, we'll show ass. That's it.
It's Los Angeles.
That's a terrible
and they had
accent.
alcohol in that bar.
Yeah,
so them's the rules.
Them's the rules. But it's so funny to me, and the ring is the ugliest engagement ring. It's two like shitty bronze gold dolphins around one diamond. It looks like something that Kay Jewelers would try and like sell on sale for Mother's Day. Like your mom wants this, right? Because I feel like Mother's Day sales are always like the shittiest jewelry where they're like a teddy bear hugging a chocolate diamond. Nobody wants chocolate diamonds. It looks like they got poop on them. It's stupid.
But I do still love the gag where he's down on his knee and the guy comes around the corner. Ooh.
It's super funny because it was around the time of Don't Ask, Don't Tell being like a big thing still, and now and so that's why it was funny to have that joke in there, and I dug that. 20 minutes left. Oh shit. All right. Well, we're gonna keep going. Keep rolling. So then here's one of my favorite sound clips. Can we gear up to play the countdown sound clip? What happens is David figures it out, and then he sees finally the news footage, and he's like, oh my God, this is a countdown, and this happens.
The signal's gonna disappear and the countdown's gonna be over.
And then what?
Checkmate.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And he does this Shakespeare thing.
I better call my housekeeper. I gotta call my lawyer. Forget my lawyer.
That was around. You know what's funny? This shaped my entire perception of lawyers. This one
For me, it
quote.
was Jurassic Park.
Yeah, those two movies. Like, whenever I would watch the Academy Awards and the actors would thank their lawyer, I'd be like, they're joking, right? Because lawyers suck. And now, like, my cousin's a lawyer and she's awesome, and I have a lawyer and he's awesome. But like, this one quote and the character in Jurassic Park shaped my youthful mind as to what. Forget my lawyer.
Yeah, it's
I gotta call
like,
my brother. I gotta call my housekeeper. I gotta call my lawyer. Yeah, forget my lawyer.
They hated lawyers in the 90s.
In the
they
90s.
really want, like, Jurassic Park literally murdered a lawyer, and in this one he basically murders him because he chooses not to warn him that he might die.
Yeah, I mean, and in his defense, they didn't have text messaging, and emails were not as apparent back then.
And you can't really like go on the go and like call while you're running.
So he had to pick his top people to save from this alien attack. So
fair enough, but
his housekeeper shouldn't be in there unless she's been working for them for years and they really love their housekeeper. I love that no one believes that when David first comes in, they're like, no one believes that these aliens may actually attack. They're like, oh, that's absurd, right? It's like, what do you think they're hovering over our major cities for? Because they just want to do a flyby? And
there's a lot of just weird behavior around the White House. Like, they're like, evacuate everybody, but I'm going to stay put. And it's like, that's actually a good move. Like, all right. He's like, secure the government. Go send them off there. I maybe would have split up all of the rest of your government.
Instead of putting them all at NORAD.
God, that Secretary of Defense. Fuck.
Yeah, like, it's just like, all right, I'm going to stay here, put every other important person in a bunker over here. Good.
And I get that, like, NORAD is, like, supposedly like, the biggest safe house in the country, but, like, it's the same reason you don't put all of your backup files in the same place.
No.
Like, you have them off-site somewhere.
Oh, wait, you don't? Oh, shit. My file management is terrible. This is so good.
But, like... And then but even though he knows like staying there is super dangerous, he's like his 4-year-old daughter.
Oh yeah,
he keeps there. He's not like, no, get her to our secret bunker in Albuquerque or something.
I mean, she would have been blown up then. So David and Jules come to the White House, and Jules has the schlemiel line. Can we play that where he's worried about how he looks because he's going to meet the president?
I look like a schlemiel.
I love that so much.
There's a longer one.
Oh yeah, I think Y is long.
If I knew I was going to meet the president, I would have worn a tie. I mean, look at me. I look like a schlemiel.
I look like a schlemiel.
That's what I love is the tie. Because
he's wearing like sneakers. Judd Hirsch is so funny in this movie. So funny. I look like a schlemiel. I don't know how many times in my life I've said, oh man, I wish I would have dressed better. I look like yeah, exactly. I went to a wedding this past weekend. It was one of my good friends' weddings, and I thought they were all wearing gray suits. And so I wore a dark blue one, and I get there and all the groomsmen are in gray, but the groom is in a dark blue suit, almost identical to what I'm wearing, and I'm just like...
I look like a schlemiel.
You know,
I was so embarrassed.
I went one time, I on Cam's recommendation, I went to Burlington Coat Factory.
Oh yeah, he loves that place. He loves it.
I walked in and like the salesman was like really, really persuasive, and they got me to buy this big like fur coat, and then I walked into my own apartment, and my girlfriend just looked at me, and I suddenly realized
I look like a schlemiel.
I love it. We have too many. I want to keep going because we have so many sound clips. So the big explosions happen. And we already talked about that. Everything blows up. And I still think all the effects look, for like, I'd say like 80% of the effects in the explosion scenes when the aliens first attack still look really good. Like when the White House blows up and the helicopter, you can tell it's all miniatures and but it's
it looks
practical.
good.
It
Like,
looks awesome.
yeah, like look, we adjust to like as I've realized like as we've like seen movies evolve, is like we adjust to the CGI like at our level.
Yeah.
Because I remember like 10 years ago seeing CGI, I'm like, that looks like it's real. I can barely tell the difference. I remember N64 graphics being
yeah.
I can barely tell the
This
difference.
is amazing. Or like Final Fantasy VII, you're like, this is the and now you play it and it's like block characters until the cutscene.
Yeah.
I got emotional. No, I just got burped.
Today we look at it and it's like, oh, it's perfect, it's indistinguishable. And in 10 years we'll look at today's and be like, that's terrible. But the miniatures, like, yeah, they're not perfect, but they still just look
because there's a
good.
visceral realness to them because it's real.
Yeah, your brain isn't like that's what?
When the fireball is going through the city and things are blowing up and buildings are exploding, they're really torching miniature cities and it looks great.
Yeah.
I could harp on that forever, but I'd like to move on because it's so awesome. This movie is one of my favorite blockbusters ever. So Will Smith, there's the big dogfight we talked about. Him and Jimmy, this is another thing I've said probably 100 times, the kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Oh my God, then they go out, they're swaggering.
Bring that bad boy on, Cap. You lose? Yes, sir. Got your victory dance? Well, I got it right here. Yeah.
Oh, I got it right here. Yeah. They're obsessed with cigars and holding them in the weirdest way. Like right before that, the general goes, "Let's go kick their ass" or something like that, and he says, "Let's go get them," and then he like forcibly puts the cigar in his mouth. It's like a very masculine thing to do in this movie. Like, cigar. That means I'm a man.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick this long cylindrical thing in my face like a man would.
But I don't know how many times I've started road trips or getting on a plane, and you don't have to play the whole clip, but the first thing I say when I get in there is I go,
I look like a schlemiel.
nope. Kick the tire.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
Cut it now. I say that all the time, and my wife had never seen this movie, and when I showed it to her, she was like, oh, that's what you quote nonstop. Let's kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
I do. There are those quotes that like, and I
Yeah.
feel like this movie has a couple of them
full
where
of
you
them.
like, I even forget where they came from, but like you say them so often.
Yeah. And then when Jimmy dies in a very Top Gun-ish type of way. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
pretty much.
Oh my God! Can you? What if we got a Top Gun Independence Day crossover? Oh my God! If they're doing Men in Black and 21 Jump Street, why not?
Are they?
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Gross. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. We're moving on from that immediately. I love both 21 Jump Street and 22, but I don't like the crossover idea. So he shoots down one of the alien ships, Will Smith, and he opens the cockpit opens, and Will Smith punches an alien out. Now, mind you, he's in like a alien mech suit basically. So Will Smith must have like superhuman strength. Can we play the Welcome to Earth?
Welcome to Earth.
Oh man.
Yeah, they sort of go back and forth between the fact that this is like alien level in like crazy technology, battle armor, and
You just punch him out.
But he's Will Smith. You know, Fresh Prince got he got the power.
I feel like if Trump is elected president, and if aliens, literal aliens from outer space, not his version of it, ever come down, whether they're good or bad, they could be peaceful. They're going to come up to try and shake Trump's hand, and he's just going to go,
Welcome to Earth.
but he'll do it in his "Welcome to Earth." And his squinty little... Anyways, I don't want to get political in case there's any... I highly doubt there's any Trump fans listening to us.
I got nothing for this one.
Welcome to Earth. So then he's dragging. Vivica A. Fox is gathering up people in her bus. Who cares? But Will Smith is dragging. This is another great rant with Will Smith. He's dragging this alien carcass in his parachute through the sun. Can we play that Will Smith rant?
You know, this was supposed to be my weekend off. But no. You got me out here dragging your heavy ass through the burning desert with your dreadlocks sticking out the back
That's
of
the
my
best.
parachute.
With your dreadlocks.
You
sticking
gotta
out.
come down here with an attitude, acting all big and bad. And what the hell is that smell?
That's my fan. He goes and starts kicking the. She goes "Ah!" and starts kicking the shit out of it. You know, my wife, she gets angry at me sometimes when I don't light a match after using the restroom. And this morning, I shit you not, get it? I come out of the restroom. She goes in there, and I just hear her yell.
And what the hell is that smell?
I'm like, well, sorry, honey, I forgot a match.
You know, the other day, somebody here at the AfterBuzz TV studios, just like they brought in some, I don't know where they got it, but they were cooking up some dinner on the stove. We do have a stove here, and it was just they got some fish in, they threw it on there, and just open to the rest of the studio. And so a bunch of people just came out of their shows going,
And what the hell is that smell?
I love how angry it is. I love how angry that is.
I could have been in a barbecue.
God! Oh,
So good.
man. We're going to keep moving on because we have a lot of sound clips. I could do that all day, son. So we get introduced to Area 51 because they're like, Area 51, it's not real. It's fake and all this stuff. And Jules is... And no, Jules is the one who knows about it. Jules is like, no, you had the ship. It crashed. The aliens. And then they're like, oh, it's not real. And then his name is Mr. Nimzicki, you find out later. What the word... That Nimzicki sums up his character. He's such a whiny. He's a great actor, but his character is such an annoying '90s trope of like, this isn't how we do it. No, and then he's like, well, that's not entirely accurate. And then they go to Area 51, where we meet.
I love the idea that the government would hold that back from the president.
Yeah. Plausible deniability is why they say.
Oh my God.
So they go to Area 51. They meet Dr. Oaken, played by Brent Spiner, who in the first one is so funny and so good because he's used sparingly. In the second one, I'll just let me know if you still like it. Anyway, so we meet him, and can we play the They Don't Let Us Out Much?
Mr. President. Wow. What a pleasure. As you can imagine, they don't let us out much.
You know, we have a shorter version of this, and I have cousins who were homeschooled, and when I would go over there and like, we'd go to the mall, and that when they were younger, they'd get kind of overwhelmed by too many people, and I was like, what's your deal, guys? Like, it's just a mall. These are people. You know that, right? And they go,
Welcome to Earth.
weird choice. And they look around the mall at these people and go,
They don't let us out much.
and I go, oh, I get it.
You know, you guys can't see it, but because I'm usually on the other side where I'm engineering the show, and it's just a small room where they cram in 4 of us, and we just churn out show after show. That's how we put out so much content here.
Yeah.
We could have used the smell clue there, but you know, we only come out to do the shows every so often. It's
They don't let us out much.
I know that was a terrible setup.
The setup to that clearly shows they don't let you out that much. That's fantastic. I loved it. So
We say we try that one again, huh?
Perfect, Steve. Perfect.
Nice.
So now the tension is ratcheted up where if they keep destroying cities like this, in the next 36 hours, every major city is going to be destroyed. They find Will Smith comes in because he happens upon these the RVs, all the RVs with Randy Quaid and Russell and all his family and all his
He's
RV
just
friends.
dragging the alien
He's
by
just
the parachute
in the middle of the desert, and he happens upon these 700 RVs, and he goes,
Where were they going?
I have no idea. But it's just so happenstance. The happenstance that gets everybody to Area 51 is amazing. But once they get there, and Dr. Oaken is like, we got to cut this thing open. When I was 14, even at 14, it scared the crap out of me when he gets strangled by the alien because they speak through telepathy, and it was speaking through him. Another thing they fucked up in the new one, totally. It's not as effective of a scene. It's almost the exact same and not as good as this.
Yeah.
But when he's like being choked by and you just see this creepy tentacle flopping, and can we play the peace, no peace? Because the president is trying to figure out what they want, and this is what happens.
Can there be a peace between us?
That voice is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what do you want us to do? And it just goes, die.
Yeah, that
You're
was
like,
the
"Whoa!"
whole sequence, like within the chamber when the alien
So
breaks
good.
out and they can't get they can't get out of the room.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so
freaky.
scary. And then when they're like, my favorite part is that glass bulletproof? No, sir. It's just so badass. And it doesn't do it in the second one. It's fine. But this one, we're celebrating this. So now
Stop complaining. Man.
we go.
So negative.
So now they're gathering up pilots. They're like, hey, after the president's wife's died, all hope is lost. And then David's drunk and he's like, we're going to screw up the planet. Nukes. Not recycling the ozone layer. And then his dad goes, get off the ground or you're going to catch cold. And he goes, what'd you say? And he goes, well, what? And you're going to catch cold. And he's like, virus. So he gets the idea to put a virus in the mothership to break down their shield so they can attack. So Will Smith and him get in this captured alien spaceship and fly it. But before that, they're gathering up pilots to go do a counteroffensive when the shields drop. And Randy Quaid is one of the people. Randy's payback. This is when they're asking for pilots, and this is what he says.
On a personal note, sir, I'd just like to add that ever since I was kidnapped by aliens 10 years ago,
And they give each other a look
I've
like,
been dying for some payback, and I just want you to know that I won't let you down.
I love that they give each other a look like, yeah, right. Like,
Yeah,
that's
what?
outside of the realm of possibilities.
Wouldn't you be like, oh my
Shit,
god,
yeah,
like
he's got intel that we don't understand.
I feel like we should have you upstairs, like talking to
It's so
our
dumb.
superiors about.
Oh. Well, we gotta keep going because we only have a few minutes left. But here's what's gonna. This is probably the most iconic moment ever, where the president comes out. I post this on my Facebook wall every 4th of July. I have actually performed this monologue for an audition before because I did it as a joke and it went moderately well back in college when it was theater and it didn't matter. Meaning theater in college, not that theater doesn't matter. Anyways, who cares?
We know
We're
you
going
mean.
to play the president's speech, one of the greatest speeches in the history of cinema, and then we have a few more things.
Good morning.
It's so good. Just soak it in.
In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind.
I loosely remember all this.
Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore.
Everyone's out in the audience. Like, yeah.
We will be united in our common interests.
Meanwhile, most of the audience is still white. It's almost all white Americans.
They cut around the world though. They're somehow picking this speech up.
And you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live.
Ah, come on! How can you not get
To
pumped?
exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday,
Although Britain probably still won't
but as
celebrate
the
it.
day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
And one guy really enthusiastically goes, and one guy's like, yeah, like he hyperextends his elbow, he's saluting so hard. That is one of the greatest speeches of all time. So then they go up in the sky, and then Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum are about to fly, and Will Smith backs up instead of going forward, and we get one of the first of many hilarious little banters between Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum. Can we play the oops clip, please?
Oops. Oops. What does that mean? What do you mean?
No, I got it. I'm some jerk didn't put.
I know what I
got it, though.
mean. When I say oops, what do you mean saying oops there?
Well, you say we try that one again, huh?
Yes, without the oops.
Yes.
They've only got like a really important mission.
It's so good. Yes. Without the oops. So then we only have 2 more sound clips left, and then 3, and then we gotta go. But can we play? So Randy Quaid, his character Russell, everybody's out of missiles. The shields are down. They're trying to just hit the main gun, the main big alien blaster core. And so Randy goes, "Tell my kids I love them," and then he flies up into the center of it. And can we play "I'm Back"?
Oh, boys! I'm back!
And right before that, by the way, the president goes, "Good luck, buddy." I mean, he's gonna die. There's no good luck there. It's just like, you're gonna get annihilated by this laser. And he kicks it, he blows up everything. It's amazing, it's triumphant. When now back to Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, one of my other favorite sound clips, where
Ben, you vamp.
What's happening?
You vamp for a second while I go take care of some behind the scenes business.
Oh, good. Okay, that's always fun. So wait, we only have a minute left. So I don't know what's happening right now. I've never been left here alone. So we're gonna play the sound clip "Forget the Fat Lady." Can we play that one?
We're loose. Can you get us out of here in 30 seconds?
I ain't heard no fat lady.
Forget the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady.
Can we play "Forget the Fat Lady"? You're obsessed with the fat lady. Again.
We're loose. Can you get us out of here in 30 seconds?
I ain't heard no fat lady.
Forget the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady.
Now we have a shorter version of that, and I have a friend who's into.
Ignore me at all times.
I have a friend who's into a plus size woman.
What the hell is that smell?
Plus size woman. He
just
loves
me.
them. Loves them.
Screw
At
up.
my bachelor party, there was a woman there, and he was like, "Where's the heavier girl? I want to see her. I want to see her." And we were like, "We gotta go. It's like 4 a.m. We gotta get out of here. The strip club's closing down." And he goes,
Forget the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady.
That's terrible. I felt real bad about that one. And then there's a line that I feel like is a ripoff from Jurassic Park when they're about to escape the alien ship. They've already implanted the virus and the nuke, and Jeff Goldblum saying, "Must go faster." I'm pretty sure he says this when the T-Rex is chasing in Jurassic Park too, right?
Uh-oh, they're closing up on us. Is that closing?
Shut up!
Go faster. Must go faster. Must
Right?
go faster.
That's
Go,
the
go,
same
go,
thing
go, go, go,
as when the T-Rex, right?
Yeah, I was confused.
It's the same thing.
Must go faster.
Must go faster. Must go
I thought
faster.
my brain had misfired when I rewatched
I
this.
think "Must Go Faster" is Jeff Goldblum's "I'll Be Back." Is where-
or Jeff Goldblum's oh hell no.
This movie's a blast. So anyways, they blow up the ship, and they're able to take down all the ships around the country. They end up walking like badasses with their cigars, and they reunite with their ladies. Jeff Goldblum and his ex-wife are back together. They're all celebrating, and Will Smith looks at his stepson and says, I promise you fireworks, right? And there's these fireworks that are, I guess, meteor, like, debris from the mothership, which is probably still gonna kill people when it like crashes to Earth.
Get underground.
Get underground. There's still tons of debris. I know we gotta wrap it up. So that's Independence Day, ladies and gentlemen. We were under the gun to finish this in. It's a 2.5-hour movie. Trying to cram that into 45 minutes is almost impossible, but we did it. I love this movie. Comment on our YouTube channel, comment on iTunes, hit me up on Twitter, at the Ben Begley, at Guilty Movie Guys. Let us know what you think of Independence Day. Is it your favorite blockbuster ever? What'd you think of the new one? I really want to start a nerd debate on the new one, so please start one with me. Zach, where can they find you?
You guys can find me here at the Popcorn Talk on Sci-Fi Weekly, which you can find on Facebook, Twitter, all those places at Sci-Fi Weekly, and also on Twitter at that Zach Wilson.
Also, my movie Funhouse Massacre that my wife and I co-wrote, it is out on Redbox now, so if you didn't have enough money to do VOD or buy it, I totally get it, but it's at Redbox now. That's $1.50 to rent the DVD and $2 for DVD. Or $2 for Blu-ray. It's a steal. So go check out the Funhouse Massacre.
Steal Ben's movie.
Don't steal my movie. But if you can, put a review on it if you like it. That every review counts, and every review for our show here counts. So please help us out if you like us. If not, just ignore us. Until next time, remember, America always wins. Can we play that? Can we play Today We Celebrate Our Independence Day?
Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Have a safe 4th of July, everyone. Have a safe and happy 4th of July to everyone here in the United States, and to everybody not in this country. Have another day in July, because it's not. Enjoy. Until next time, what is your guilty movie pleasure?
Do you understand the concept of the Tooth Fairy?